This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. Well, yeah, we're going to be talking about Young Buck again, unfortunately. He did a 2-hour interview with Big Facts Podcast. It was pretty good, but, you know, they could have pushed it a little harder on some of the questions and called Young Buck out on a couple things. Just, Young Buck doesn't make sense, man. Now, CookupBoss reacted to it, and he was called out during the interview by Young Buck for always putting that pressure on Buck for the footage he was caught on. Everything, and then Buck also talked about Starlito, that whole confrontation they had, and it just doesn't make sense. So here we go. So let's see, where do we start? We'll get the 50 Cent stuff out of the way. He keeps talking about 50 Cent was never paying him and everything. He said, I barely cleared $1 million at G-Unit. But then you're talking about, and he said that's because of shows and everything. But then you're talking about 50 Cent was handing you, $250,000 deals to wear sneakers, and then, another $40,000 here, $50,000 here to wear t-shirts. And if you weren't getting paid for your albums, why did you put out a second album? I don't get it, man. Why? Why would you put out a second album? I'm not refuting that it probably was hard working for 50 Cent. I imagine 50 Cent, it's his label, and I imagine it was difficult working for 50 Cent. Let's also get into, he said, let's talk about this. Then he said he wasn't paid for records he wrote after think about this. He left G-Unit in 2009, released, free, came back in 2014, re-signed, wrote records for 50 Cent. Why would you re-sign if you weren't paid previously, right? Why wouldn't you get a lawyer to make sure everything's right this time? He says he still got nothing the second time around, his second signing to G-Unit. You can only blame yourself at that point. It's like, so you must like to be mishandled. I don't know. I mean, if it's that bad over there. And then if this is all true, why isn't Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, and other people coming out that did business with 50 Cent and saying everything was bad? I mean, Prodigy never had anything bad to say. Havoc's never had anything bad to say. They got cars right away. 50 Cent bought at least 4 Porsches for MOP and Mobb Deep right off the rip. Made sure they all got a bunch of money. I mean, I don't know, man. Seemed like 50 Cent just made people rich, to be honest. Then he tries to mess up 50 Cent's business with Big Meech and BMF series. He says, I was hanging out with Big Meech in 2003 with Jeezy, and Big Meech was a big fan of 50 Cent and wanted to meet him. And 50 Cent told me, don't bring Big Meech around me. I know what they're getting into. I don't want to be around that. Well, that sounds pretty smart to me. I mean, 50 Cent said, I can't even, in an interview around that time, 0405, he said, I can't really just hand people money that I want to help in the hood because the cops are so crazy out here right now. They might, if that guy takes that money and goes and buys a pack and sells it, I'm an accomplice now and I could go to jail. 50 Cent came from a background where he didn't want to go back to jail. So hanging around Big Meech, the biggest rapper at that moment, hanging out with Big Meech, right? Wouldn't cause a lot of attention when Big Meech had already told Young Buck prior to asking to meet 50 Cent, hey, I think I'm going to go away for a while, guys. Big Meech already knew he had the feds on him or somebody on him, right? And then Young Buck still goes to 50 Cent and then says 50 Cent's not real because he didn't meet up with Big Meech. What? A lot of things are what in this interview. Like, he got called out in the interview by Scream himself. Scream did Back on My Buck Volume 1 did really well, but on Back on My Buck Volume 2, he didn't want to DJ, so he didn't do it with Scream. And he did it by himself because he didn't want to have to pay a DJ. That's what it was. And he kind of admitted it. He said, I was wrong for that, da-da-da-da. But people like DJ Scream are instrumental in that because they can get it played and all this other stuff, and they got a team of guys. Like, there's a reason why people use DJs. But Scream said, yeah, people got greedy like this and stopped using DJs when we were using us before, when it was cool to, and you used everybody, and then you didn't have anybody on it. Also, he was exposed for removing Future from a song. Rocco did a song with Buck, and Future was on it. And then Buck said, I don't know how Future got removed, man. I don't know how he got removed. Because Rocco was like, yo, why isn't Future on the song? This is before Future blew up. And he said, I don't know how. And CookupBoss exposed that, nah, you remove Future because you didn't like that auto-tune stuff. But you're lying. Listen, Young Buck's a great rapper, but he lies a lot, man. Going to the All-Star stuff with Starlito. He said, there was a rumor that Starlito had a record about me, and I went to a gym where he was coaching kids. So you went to go approach somebody about a record while he was coaching kids at a basketball gym, and you got into it with him there. And this is in 2017. So Starlito and him got into it, right? He said, I waited for Starlito. He came out. I approached him about it. He said, you not proud of me. And then we got into it. And before I left the parking lot, he had already released the record. The record's called I'm Proud, and it has a rainbow, signifying that Young Buck is playing for the other team, right? If you get what I mean. This is before the videos came out. So this had already been a rumor in Nashville, okay? That, hey, Young Buck, you know, he likes things a little different. So that was on there, the rainbow thing. Then 2018, that video comes out where he's caught in the hotel room. And then on his new thing for that is, I was catfished. I thought I was being set up to be robbed. But on that video, he stands there for like a minute and then leaves. But he's there for a while. If you think you're being set up, you leave right away, right? Now, he stayed around. And this is what CookupBoss said, too. And CookupBoss said that's not the only person he's been caught with. Tasha K found other people that he was connected with. There's been other people that have come forward. And it's like, everyone's like, fine, bro, this is who you are. Just be who you are. Be honest with yourself. You're a great rapper, but you like things a little different. But Young Buck is trying to explain this away so much. CookupBoss said it best. He said, why do you keep doing these interviews? You're doing it to yourself. Here, I'm going to play CookupBoss's thing right here. I mean, it's crazy. So 2017, Starlito released that. 2018, he gets caught on camera. I mean, come on. And that's when he had another problem with 50 Cent because he said he wasn't getting paid enough. Right around that same time. Weird, right? Anyways, let's listen to CookupBoss's thing.
Man, this man done made up. Somebody need to get this boy some help. Like, for real, embarrassing us, man. Man, shout out to Big Bang Dog. Man, hey, man. Listen. Man, that nigga said, don't ask me about them niggas no more. That nigga said, both of them. Man, that was too hard, man. Damn, David. You is a homie. Who keep letting David do these interviews, man? Man, this control, man. All in and ask his ass some questions, nigga. Well, the rest of all the conversation is with the boy. You had a whole goddamn relationship with that boy, David. You know what I mean? Man, hey. David. Yo, David. You make it hard to deal with you, David. Like, I don't even know what to say no more. You feel me? Just go on and say it. Just say it, man. I wanted Bang to say it, so just say it, nigga. Y'all mean it. Hey, man, this man that concocted him a whole little story, man, in his head. Man, this shit, man, then you were getting robbed, man. You gonna go in the place, finna get robbed, talking about put it in your mouth? David, you still my nigga. I told him, man, you my nigga. You a rapping mother, David. Then you gonna talk about you put on the, you introduced band. Man, you a lying mother, man. And then back then, David, you know you took Future off that song, David. David. Yeah, nigga, you know when Thugger sent you the damn hook, nigga, yeah, nigga. David on that line like a mother, man. Boy, David. Man, you know you dead wrong for that, man. You took that man off that song, nigga. Shit, man. How you keep getting these interviews? You talking about a nigga want to be famous. Nigga, I don't want to be famous, nigga. Talking about I just be talking about you. You hit me, nigga. And you gonna get on there and make up all these stories and shit, man. What's wrong with this nigga? Talking about you juvenile, nigga. They were tearing them cars, nigga. It wasn't none of your shit. Lil' Jimmy, you ask Lil' Jimmy, nigga. You lying like you tripping on that, David. Don't be making her look bad like that, nigga. How you keep getting these interviews? Man, how you keep getting these interviews, man? I'm gonna let you go on with your life, nigga, but be who you is, nigga. Hello, David. Stop, what's up with this nigga? I just tried to tap it in, goddammit. I don't know what's up with this nigga. You ain't need live none of this. You got a hell of an imagination, David. I ain't moving. You made up a story about you talking to this man and y'all set up a thing. You need some help, David. You done made up another story from your last story, nigga. You got caught with a boy. We can't ride in the two-seater no more together, David. Control, man. I ain't got nothing against them people. But when I saw the video, it said, damn, that is me in that video. How you keep getting these interviews?
Yeah, that was funny, and it's weird. This whole situation is weird. And Young Buck is weird, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, it is what it is, okay? I believe half the things he's talking about. Half the other things, I think he's just trying to... I think he's just someone who can't get out of his own way. Let's be honest, okay? He's somebody who just can't get out of his own way. He keeps making mistake after mistake, doing bad business. He shouldn't handle any of his own business. He should have someone that he trusts handling all of his business. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. I appreciate you guys. And again, I think he's a great rapper. All right? And I'm not saying 50 Cent's probably the best person to do business with, right? It's probably kind of difficult. But he's very confident. He has a great success rate. I'll say that. So maybe you should have trusted him a little more. Maybe you should just work things out. But it's all good. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, join the channel and all that good stuff. And I'll check you guys on the next one. Peace.